First with Bobby Simpkins, what were you seeing from him, and is he still on the, I guess, same timeline of next would be his rehab assignment?
We got through 3 innings. I think he threw 51 pitches, and I think that what you would expect the first time out, the command of his pitches isn't going to be there, but I think the exercise of getting him up and down 3 times was accomplished, and the next step is for him to start his rehab assignment for that Rancho team on Sunday.
Max Muncy was also out there just doing some stuff on the fields and stretches and things like that. How is he continuing to progress his foot?
He looks good. He's done some plyo stuff. He took some grounders today through. I think he's going to hit probably tomorrow or Thursday in the cage. And it will be a 1 or 2 game rehab. I don't know when that's going to start, and hopefully we'll get him back sometime next week.
With Bobby, we got a little time to think about this, but where does he fit back into a rotation that's pretty full?
It is, and that's a good thing. Certainly with the way guys are throwing the baseball, and as it stands now, the health. But we've got 3 starts, so we've got some time to kind of see, let's let Bobby get through Sunday, and then we'll kind of see from there. But fortunately, unfortunately, things seem to change, but he'll find his way in there once he's ready.
Do you still have the same projections to a 6-man rotation that we talked about in the spring?
I think we're open to anything. I think it's just kind of when that time comes. Also appreciating the pen, I think most importantly, because then you're going to a 7-man pen. There's some guys that we've got to really try to take care of usage on back-to-backs, 3 out of 4s. Having Yarbs essentially as the one long guy. Being mindful of that too. So again, once we get to Bobby being full health and being inserted, then I think that the question will kind of present more clear.
Do you expect multiple rehab starts for him?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, he threw 3 innings today, so he'll probably do like another 3, then a 4, then a 5, and then we'll see where we're at.
In a related topic, what's the rotation look like for Cincinnati? Are you going to drop another bullpen game in there?
As it stands now, no. So we should be on turn with our guys.
So Yamamoto would go Sunday and Friday?
Yamamoto would go Sunday, and then I think Walker goes Saturday, and then Friday is Paxton, I think.
Dave, when you mentioned kind of the bullpen, not when maybe you have 7 guys, but when you're deciding on 6-man rotation, stuff like that, like, do you have to serve with the starters? Like, are you guys okay with getting an extra day, like being on 6 days as opposed to like more regular?
Yeah, I think that, with certain guys, I think we've done a really nice job of communicating and giving them 5 days off, sometimes 6, and then you start to kind of look at the calendar, and they don't want 7 days off, and just trying to figure out if there's more is not always better as far as rest. They want to get into a routine, so I think that it's Yamamoto is the only guy that's really used to pitching once a week, and other guys like that, I think it's more of trying to figure out what's best for them individually and collectively. So, once we get to that point with Bobby, then I think the conversation will start to heat up. But also, really appreciating the 7-man pen, and you don't want to expose yourself either.
Does it make it easier to do that if the starters as a group are pitching well and you're not worried about maybe a bad one blowing up?
It is, and certainly as we look back, it's played out as such, but it's good until it's not. And all it takes is one outing and then another one, and then, which can happen, then you're in a whole different place. So I think that the way they've thrown certainly builds confidence, but it's still baseball, and those hitters are still pretty good too.
Dustin May posted himself throwing his first pen. Is there a plan for him yet in terms of what he's going to come back as, whether starter or weaver?
No, not really. I think for us right now, it's just to continue to get through the rehab process, build him up, and once we get to August, see where he's at. once he gets to September, see where he's at, see a need. So I think that just continue to get through that process and build them up and see where we're at, at that point in time of the year. But the other day, the bullpen certainly positive.
Does Miguel Vargas look different at all from where he was last year, just with his swing or any other part of his game? Has he changed anything?
I think he's more comfortable in left field. As far as at bat, I haven't seen a ton. Watched some video, read some reports, obviously a small sample the other night. I think a little bit, he looks more freed up, a little bit more aggressive. So hopefully, that translates to tonight. Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that we believe in. So I'm obviously giving him an opportunity, and so hope good things happen.
Were you guys able to pinpoint kind of where things went wrong for him last year? Are there things that you kind of identified over the winter that you wanted him to address, or what was that process?
I think he became a little too static with his hands. His mechanics was a little too mechanical, I thought. I think he became a little too passive. And then, balls in the hitting zone, he wasn't moving forward like he typically has done throughout his career. Came into spring training with a great mindset, looked great physically as well. He certainly turned that into a great start in AAA. And so I see a lot of that. And so now it's just kind of trying for him to just trust that last year was behind him. This is a new year, and he's grown and matured, and just let his talent take over.
Too mechanical, like he was thinking about?
I think so. That's what I think. I just don't think he was as free and easy with the hands as he typically, as I've seen, in years past.
What was the thinking in moving him to the outfield?
The thinking was feeling that there was more of an opportunity to get his bat playing for us. I think if you look at last year with Peralta, it made sense to kind of potentially give him a runway there. Third base, I just think that we just felt that in the outfield, it plays better. And so I think that also with Max being an everyday guy at third base, having Kike, having Rojas as far as right-hand hitters on our roster, just giving him the best opportunity to help the big league club.
What have you heard about just how he looks out there? His comfortability in left? Good, really good. Getting more comfortable making plays that he needs to make. Yeah, I mean, Miguel is a dream of a player. He does everything you ask. He prepares, he plays the game the right way, he plays hard, and just want him to just feel clarity to go play and have fun and not put any undue pressure on himself like I think he did last year.
Dave, who was the other hitter against Bobby out there?
Juan, forget his name, he's from Panama.
Alonso? Yep,
Juan Alonso, and he's with our Rancho team, and he's off to a good start. Outfielder, and he put together some good at-bats.
Those lines get really swinging.
It's debatable.
They can't throw it.
Just with Chris last night getting that hit, what have you seen kind of from his at-bats more recently?
Better. Trying to figure out spots for CT. Yesterday came up with a big hit for us. I think that was good for his confidence. Every live situation we have for our pitchers, he's out there. He's accountable, he works hard, doesn't make excuses, and I think the swing's getting better. So now the question is what's best for CT as far as how we can get him the best runway to get back into a normal rhythm. I haven't done that because there's some other guys that I feel that should have opportunities to play. When I do find opportunities, I'm trying to get him in there, and we'll see how the next kind of week plays out.
I know he's like a guy you said, isn't one you have to talk to a lot. But during the stretch, have you, with the playing time, has that been part of the conversation with him, or how have you guys kind of just helped him mentally during all this?
I talked to him a little bit in San Francisco, and he clearly understands his performance, how guys are playing, but certainly wants an opportunity to play. And I understand that, I respect that. And so, you know, I just asked him to continue to stay ready when called upon, and that's what he's doing.
How complicated is it for a guy? Because it seems like a lot of the struggles early on season because he was trying to make swing changes to get back to who he was. Like, how complicated is that sort of dealing with a guy who's, I'm sure, got a bunch of ideas sort of going in his head?
I think it can be difficult at times because there's certain things that he's not feeling that he wants to feel, that he's frustrated with. He's a mechanical guy. And they're kind of the hitting guys in him. They're going back and forth trying to figure some things out. And so it can be tough, you know, and when you're trying to compete at this level and feel like you're pulling your weight, it gets frustrating. But like I said, the guy puts in the work every single day, and it's not lost on me, not at all.
Dave, Gavin Stone's been in a pretty good stretch lately. Is there anything specifically you look for in the beginning of his start to see that he's on?
For Gavin, it's I guess I say this every night, it's fastball command. I think that you know, he has a couple different breaking balls to left and versus right, but if he can get ahead with the fastball and command it, then it puts those guys more on their heels. And to be honest, he's been very good with that this year, and I think that's the result of his results are a byproduct of getting ahead and commanding the fastball. So, you know, if he can get that fastball on the plate with some late movement, there's an induction of soft contact, getting ahead in the count, which then swing and miss with other pitches. So he's been fantastic. He's weathered some big stress innings, minimized damage, which shows growth. I think it's just kind of the low dart, getting ahead of hitters that's very telling for me, because then everything else plays off of that.